Hey guys, welcome to Girl Talk Pod episode 18. If you're watching, I'm lighting some Palo Santo and some sage because we're going to cleanse this space. Also, you're going to notice my voice is awful. So I got really sick this past week and we're going to get into all of that, but I'm going to light some sage. I have some candles lit. Something that you might not know about me is I'm a big, believer in like the metaphysical. So there is this labyrinth. It's called the Labyrinth. It's an apothecary in Dallas that I frequent often, and it's I call it the Witch Doctor. And so I got some candles, a few. I constantly am getting some energy drawing candles. Sometimes it's energy drawing, sometimes it's energy like pushing away candles. And so I have some lit for the episode, and then I also have some sage lit as well. So we're just really cleansing the space. It's my birthday episode, so they're listening to this on Tuesday. My birthday was yesterday, so I just turned 26, so I wanted to do a little birthday episode. So apologies for my voice. It's awful, but I had to get an episode out, and I really wanted to do this because it's going to be pretty special. And I'm excited to go through just kind of a reflection of the last year and then a forecast of the year to come. So I have some tea. We're going to it's hopefully going to help my voice get better through the episode, but please bear with me. I have a very raspy, deep voice anyways, and this is just kind of enhancing it. So I was actually supposed to be in LA for a secret Girl Talk project this weekend. And I was going to literally go for one day, leave early Saturday morning and come back Sunday. But I woke up Saturday morning for my flight and I had a fever and my voice was gone and I had full body chills and I woke up in a puddle of sweat. So I was like, getting on an airplane, going to have meetings and do all this is probably not the best when I'm not feeling well. And I had a moment of just contemplation and I was like, should I just go? But I had to listen to my body and it was telling me right now is just not the time. You have way too much stuff going on. And I had to listen. So I rescheduled everything. But there's a really cool, project to come with Girl Talk that involved me going out to LA. So it'll come in due time. I had to listen to my body and let it rest. So now we're here, now we're home, and we're going to get into the episode. All right. So I said in a previous episode, I love my birthday. I'm a big birthday girl. I love it because I love getting people together and celebrating just life and all the people that I have in it. So as much as I, am a Leo and I love attention, I really love to use my birthday as a way to get everyone together, all the people that I love in the same room. So I had a birthday dinner last night at St. Martin and I just wanted to throw because I was supposed to be in Europe, like I said, I had to kind of last minute throw something together. And I've had some really shitty birthdays the past couple of years, so I really wanted to do something special. So I threw my girlfriends in at astronomy dinner, like at a celestial dinner, where I had picked stones for everyone that I thought would be great for them to use in their life right now. Some cleansing stones, some transformation stones. I also printed out cards that had our compatibility with our signs. And I also wrote down like my favorite memory with them. And it was just such a good dinner. And I'm just so happy that I got to bring everyone together that are my support systems. And it's girlfriends from all phases of my life. So it was really great to just get everyone together and just see everybody and spend my birthday with them. It was so special. I also wanted to fill my day. I was talking to a girlfriend last week about birthdays, and I was telling her I was kind of down because my plans have changed. And I really just wanted to fill the day with just doing things that I loved and that were good for my body. So I woke up and I had 2 workouts with 2 people that I really, really love to move with. And then I went and cold plunged and saunaed. I got my nails done, and then I went and got a massage. So it was a full day of just like self-care, and I spent a majority of it by myself, and then I got to be around all my people that night. So it was so fun, and I'm so excited for this year of 26. So I wanted to, oh my gosh, I have to tell y'all a quick story because this is fucking insane. But on last week, I went on a girls' night and I went to an opening of this bar, and I ran into not 1 but 2 of my exes at the same place at the same time. And that was a whirlwind because one of them I haven't seen since we broken up, and then the other one I haven't really seen much either, and I don't really run into them because I don't really do things like out in Dallas anymore, and I've been traveling so much, and I think I purposely just removed myself from the spaces that I could run into them to not, but I ran into both of them at the same time, and it was just, gosh, it was interesting to say the least. But that did happen to me last week, and I just had to give y'all a little fill in on that. So other things that are upcoming is I'm launching a really cool project for Girl Talk Pod. I think it'll probably launch about mid-August. I have a new website that I've been working really hard on, and it's going to be launching in the next week or so. And then there's this really cool thing that I can't wait to see come to life. And I really hope that y'all love it. I think that y'all will really love it, and it's going to come to fruition soon. So look out for that in the next week or so. But let's just get right into the birthday episode. I told you I wanted to kind of reflect on the things that happened in my 25th year of life, and then what's I'm kind of forecasting and manifesting for 26. I think it's really important. I love that my birthday is in the half of the year because I do this at the beginning of the year with, doing vision boards and just kind of sitting there and writing and reflecting like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what happened the prior year, and this is what I would love to see. And I love that I get to do that also in the half of the year too, because it also makes me go and check back on what I was setting in the beginning of the year and how I've accomplished those goals or how those have changed. So I think it's really important. If you don't do that, just it's a great just check in to see where you are in relevancy to your goals and all that stuff, and where you can make shifts, or maybe just remind you like, hey, I really wanted to accomplish this year. I forgot about it, and now let's get our focus back to what we need to accomplish. So I just made a list of just kind of a reflections, and then we'll get into the forecasting and manifestations of 26. I'm going to go through the list, and then I'll probably just kind of blurb and stuff per check mark or bullet point or whatever. So 25 was definitely my most transformative year of my life. And I know I'm going to have many of those as I grow up and, then just hit different phases with family and career and all of that. But I just think that your 20s are super transformative in general. And I was really struggling this past week because I was feeling, I posted a TikTok about this, how I just feel super lost right now with career and my love life, and if I'm supposed to live in Dallas or if I need to move. And I was just posted that, and so many people responded to it, friends, and then also random people on TikTok, that they're honestly, there's a quarter-year crisis. It's real. And they're they don't even know how old I was. I didn't talk about my age. They're I don't know if you're 25 or not. And I was I'm actually 25. And they were a quarter-life crisis is so real. And there's just so much pressure too in general, with social media and seeing people thrive and succeed, and you're just what the fuck am I doing? And so I was struggling with that this week, but then I just had to put a plan in place. So I was like, okay, you're struggling with these things, but like, let's break down what you're doing in your life right now that could maybe be holding you back from the things that you want to accomplish. And I think that the biggest thing that I discovered was I had this mentality of I was showing up for everyone else, and I was just kind of putting myself like in the back seat. And I talked about this in the empathy episode of just like, if you don't fill your cup and you just try to fill everyone else's with an empty cup, like you're going to burn out and then things are not going to go well for you. So I just realized that I also had this mentality of like, I didn't deserve. I just have these like self-deprecating thoughts sometimes that like, I don't deserve to do good things for myself. And I have just, oh, we have a visitor, Mr. Leo. Do you want to say hi? No, he doesn't want to say hi. But I just felt like I just didn't deserve to be doing these things for myself. That's what I was like, when I really dug down, I was like, you don't deserve this. I was like, why don't I deserve this? Everyone else deserves it from me. Like I should, be getting, like I should be on priority of the list. So I was like, I need to just start doing the things that I know that are going to make my life better, whether that's like eating well, working out, prioritizing movement, not giving my energy to things and people that don't deserve it. And then also just like, don't procrastinate the things that are important to you. And, again, it's just like knowing when to say no and knowing when to say yes. So that's kind of something that I struggled, or I was like thinking about and came to the conclusion of last week. So with being in this like super transitional year and part of my life, you have those days where you're like, what the fuck? You feel so lost. So I've been dealing with that recently. And after I was able to kind of sit and reflect and forecast, that made me feel better because I was able to start putting some goals into place. So I can say that in the last year, I definitely developed the most self-awareness and the most emotional awareness. And self-awareness meaning that I am able to recognize the things that I have been doing wrong in like relationships and friendships or in the workplace, and just realizing what is it for me, and just really just trying to like figuring out who I am as a person. I spent a lot of time just kind of dating myself and figuring out what my boundaries were. That's another thing in 25 is I literally found out what my boundaries were. I didn't have boundaries before. And I saw something the other day that was about this, like if you realize that you just never really have boundaries for yourself, it's kind of correlates with like self-respect and stuff. So really learning how to respect myself as a person, setting those boundaries and understanding who I am. So that was a huge discovery in this last year, which was amazing to go through, but also was kind of difficult at times, just really digging deep and having these like self moments, because when you don't really know yourself, it's kind of uncomfortable to sit in silence and like figure out who you are, because you sometimes try to distract yourself with friends and relationships because you don't want to spend that time. But that's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, was like sitting there and just like, who is Gabrielle Ruth Little? I want to figure it out. Even if I haven't liked her in the past, like I'm going to learn to like her, because she's not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. With emotional awareness, this is something that I've been working on for a long time, especially like in therapy, is just kind of recognizing like why I feel a certain type of way. So I wouldn't say that fully developed in, or like I owe that completely to the year 25, but I just know I got kind of a better grasp on it, and developed an emotional toolbox of when I am feeling certain ways, like anxious or depressed or worried or fearful, like just kind of knowing what things to do that make me feel better in those situations. So that's like that kind of, emotional toolbox is something that, like, an idea that I developed, or not developed because I didn't create it, but figured out like what was in my emotional toolbox to help me in those situations. And I owe that to therapy, definitely, just kind of teaching me how to recognize and what's causing me to feel this way and how I can pull myself out. I also, like I was talking about earlier, is like I learned what my boundaries are in all aspects of my life: friendships, family, relationships, and work wise as well. Just learning what, I'm not going to settle for. And that all just came with like really getting to know myself and just spending some time like knowing exactly what I want. So that, just to build on the boundaries. I want to read this directly from the computer. So it's I became the best version of myself in a relationship to proving to myself that I can be a good partner. Once I realized that I can break cycles that were instilled in me from a young age. So this is huge. And this was also like a part of like one of the like hardest things that I went through this past year is, so I haven't always been the best partner. And a lot of that has to do with immaturity and not knowing who I was before getting into these relationships, and then just kind of being malleable and just adapting to how my partner thought and how they felt. And so the biggest part, then I would just kind of lose myself, and then I would build like resentment in relationships, and I would do petty things, and I just wouldn't be the best partner. And so this year, in my last relationship, I had developed so much, I just grew so much and really found out that I could be a good partner, because there was a time in my life where I was like, I'm never going to be a good partner. I didn't have a great example of this growing up. I didn't have the best relationship examples growing up in my life. And I was scared that like I was going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I realized like, no, I have full control of how I act and how I treat people. And I can write my story at the end of the day. Like, just because, there are generational cycles of trauma and just bullshit doesn't mean that I have to fall in line. So that realization, and I was, lucky to do it with a partner that I loved. But I did talk to my therapist about this, because I think that I was so attached to that relationship because I thought that this was the only person that could bring that out of me. But my therapist told me that no, you just grew up and it just happened to be with this person. It could have been with anybody, but this is the time where you kind of grew up and made that decision. So don't attach that growth and don't, attest that just to one person, because that literally could have been with anybody. And that was a really hard thing in my previous relationship, because I just thought that this person brought out that part of me. But I know that's not true, because I can be like that with anyone that I choose. It's just I had to make that decision. I had to grow up and I had to mature. So, but with that, like losing that person that I like made these discoveries with was so fucking hard, right? Because I was super attached, and I just had to like make the realization that, it wasn't the person, it was me. I was doing it myself. And so, but during that time of like ending the relationship, it was really hard for me, because again, I attached that and I owed that to him instead of realizing that was for myself. So that's just the beauty of life and, learning things through experiences. Is I learned that, it was up to me at the end of the day. And I'm proud of myself for growing and maturing. And, I'm really proud of myself with who I am as a partner. I pushed myself out of comfort zones when it comes to meeting people in spaces that used to intimidate me. I think this has to do with, kind of self-confidence and a little bit of imposter syndrome of when I met people, I would be kind of intimidated by their success, but I had to learn, like, they're just people at the end of the day, and like learn from them. If you see them as someone that you admire, like try to get to know them. Don't be afraid to like have conversations and ask questions, because at the end of the day, like you cannot ask the right person the wrong thing, or you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. However you want to frame that, is just be comfortable in being uncomfortable, and like you're gonna grow. If you just stay comfortable, like you're not gonna grow. And that is something that I did, is just like no situation, no conversation intimidated me anymore. I learned that this year. I can go up and I can ask someone anything. And if they think that I'm silly, or if I make a fool out of myself, which hopefully I don't, and typically I don't, but it's fine. It's going to be a learning experience. And also, if they think whatever they want to think about me, then that's not a person that I need in my life. So that's something that I did kind of realized. I also learned how to say yes more. A lot of the times I'd want to say no to things because I just didn't think that, that was a space that I belonged in. But then I realized like I did, and learning experiences, whether they were good or bad. But yeah, just learning to say yes to more situations that used to intimidate me, or I didn't think that I belonged in those situations, or I was just, just places that I didn't think I belonged in, and just saying yes. And it opened up to so many opportunities, I went on a trip with some friends that I didn't really know that well, and that was kind of intimidating and scary, but I ended up being one of the best trips I've ever been on. And I just like really was out of my comfort zone and just open and optimistic for anything that was going to happen. So that was a specific experience in itself. But I also learned how to say no more. I learned how to say no to situations that I knew like it wouldn't serve me. And, I used to be really big on just kind of people pleasing and putting myself in situations because I knew like my friends wanted to be in them. But I was like, if I say yes to this and I'm not going to be excited, I'm not going to be happy to be there, then my energy is going to directly reflect that. And then it's going to possibly like not make other people have a good time. Not just a specific example, but just saying no more. Saying no to things that you genuinely do not want to do. Don't push yourself to do things just because you think that your friend's going to be mad at you or your family's going to be mad at you. Because like I talked about in the boundaries episode, is like everyone's going to be doing what they need to be doing for themselves at the end of the day. And if you're honest and you're like, this is not for me, then they're going to understand that if they're your people. And then it's also a good way to kind of gauge your friendships. And if they're, give you a hard time for it, then they're probably not your person and they don't need to be in your life. And then you can evaluate that, how much energy you give them and everything. So just kind of learning how to say no has been nice. I watched my best friend marry the love of her life. One of the most special experiences that I'll ever have in my life was being able to stand by my best friend's side as she devoted her love to her best friend. And I really look up to them. And, they're just starting this amazing phase of their life of being newlyweds, and they just bought a house and they're talking about having munchkins. Like that is so special to me. So that was a huge thing in this last year. I traveled to some really cool places. Didn't get to go to Europe, which I was really excited about, but I know that when that time comes, maybe at 26, it'll be an amazing experience. But I still went to some really cool places and had great experiences with new friends and old friends, and I just can't wait to continue to do that for the rest of my life. I'm actually headed to New York next week to my first trip as a 26-year-old, or this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to New York this weekend. My first trip as a 26-year-old. I'm going to go out and explore. I'm going to get into that later when we're talking about the 26. Let's stay looking in the past. I launched Girl Talk Pod, guys. That's like 25 is always going to be a special year in my life because I literally started this. If you're here, you're listening to this. I started this last year, and it's always going to be a special place, like a special year in my heart, because I'm going to be doing this for a very long time. And I can't wait to look back when I'm like 35 and I'm like, oh shit, like I started this 10 years ago, and I just can't wait to continue to grow. The growth that we've had in the last 7 months has been crazy. And I can't wait to just see what happens in the next 6 months and the next year and all of that. So there's so many really cool things on the horizon for Girl Talk, but I'm just proud that I committed to something. I know along the way there's been gaps and there's been breaks and all that, but you have to learn to pivot and be able to kind of take a step back when things aren't necessarily going right. And that's what I did. And I am just, again, I just can't wait to see what happens with Girl Talk Pod in the future. But just from the like reflecting over the launch date, which is January 16th, that's always going to be something that I hold near and dear to my heart. So Girl Talk was born in the 25th year. And just to kind of wrap up the reflection on 25 is like, overall, I just learned so much about who I am and what I stand for. And it's like, I'm just so, as much pain as there was in like ending of relationships and friendships, I just am so proud of who I am. And I love that I can look back on my life and be so proud, because there's just been times in my life where I haven't been able to look back on situations and be proud of who I am. It's rare. So to be able to sit here in confidence and be like, I am so fucking proud of you. Well, I'm talking to myself. I'm so fucking proud of you and everything that you've accomplished. And I just can't wait to see what happens next year. And I just can't wait to see the growth that I continue to make. And I'm, I just challenge you to just give yourself like a pat on the back. And I know that it's so easy to criticize the things that we do. And it's hard to kind of hype ourselves up, especially if you're someone like me who's been a people pleaser. We struggle with kind of sitting there and just like congratulating ourselves. So make sure to spend some time and do that, because it's really important. Let's go on to 26 and see what we've got forecasted in the future. I'm just every year just keeps getting better and better. So I'm really excited to see what this year has in store for me. But number one is going to be career exploration, right? Well, actually, I forgot to talk about that in 25, is that I quit my corporate job and shifted careers off after almost 5 years in corporate accounting. So that was a bullet that I missed. So to build on that, like 26 is going to be big on career exploration. When I'm in New York, actually, I'm going to go look and explore some avenues and see if I can maybe find something there for me. But I'm just exploring different industries, and I'm still, working here and there, but I'm out of the corporate world. So I'm fully making my own schedule, which is nice. And I'm blessed that I have opportunities that can, pay my bills and stuff. So I'm definitely going to spend a lot of time early in 26 exploring careers and seeing where I end up. I have no idea, but I do love the creative space. I love marketing. I love, public relations. So we'll see what happens. And I think New York will be a great place to kind of explore that. I really want to learn how to be comfortable single and just date myself. I mean, I want to be in a relationship. I love being in a relationship. I love building a life with someone. I love doing things with a partner. I don't like dating like multiple people. But I really think that it's important to me to spend some time by myself. I've kind of always been in a relationship, and as much as I don't want to be single, I really think I need to just kind of just see what's out there, or not see what's out there for me. It's the exact opposite of what I need to be doing. I just really need to continue this like dating myself and like figuring out like what I want, because I still, I've talked to guys or like gone on dates and stuff, and just like I'm still kind of like have this mentality of like conforming, like not doing things that I want to do, because I'm worried about what people are going to think and stuff. So that's something that I really want to focus on. I possibly want to move away from Dallas. I don't know why, but I just have this like pull from somewhere else, and I'm trying to figure out where exactly that is. So I keep saying New York. I've loved New York so much. I just don't know if that will for sure be somewhere that I need to go. But I also do love Dallas. I really love Dallas, and it's kind of hard for me to imagine living somewhere else. But I think because I lived such a transient lifestyle until I landed in Dallas, I just kind of have gotten super comfortable living here and the consistency I crave. But I'm know that if I do want to move, it's probably going to be better doing it now than later, as that before that, the chance of me like finding my partner and like starting a family and stuff. So we'll see where that takes me. But I have this like drawing feeling or pulling feeling to just kind of get out and like maybe explore living somewhere else. So we'll see. But I want to grow the podcast and reach more listeners and hopefully have an impact with the experience that I've continued to have an impact with the experiences that I've had in life and get to share those with y'all. So there's going to be a lot of, time and more effort being put in the podcast. Hopefully you've already seen that thus far in the last couple of episodes and, taking on more guests and just kind of growing the ideas and stuff. So that I want to create genuine connections with new guests. I want to have like people that I've never met before come on. The last 2 guests that I've had are, good dear friends of mine. So I want to just expand that. And I'm, working on that constantly, trying to figure out who would be great to have on the podcast. And there's going to be some growth there. I told you about the, secret, what's it called? The Taker project I was working on in LA. So we'll see. I'm also going to do an interview while I'm in New York. So that'll be cool. I can't wait for y'all to see that. I can't wait to see how that goes. I want to cultivate my female friendships because I feel as if I neglected them a lot last year. So I definitely neglected my female friendships. I neglected a lot of my relationships just because I felt like I kind of isolated myself at times. And I really just want to build that girl gang. And I've been hanging out with my girlfriends a lot more, and it just has filled my cup. And I just love being around female energy because you just get to learn so much from each other and how they're navigating life because the female and male experience is so different. And so I'm really, wanting to cultivate my female relationships more and just like lean into my support system. And so that's something that I definitely want to do more of in 26. I want to go to Europe for an extended period of time. Like I was saying earlier, I definitely want to go to Europe and just go to France finally and, you become conversationally fluent in French again. So I'm going to stick with my French lessons and maybe I'll do like a whole podcast en français and I'll put subtitles for you English listeners, or I'll I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, but maybe grow my reach to the French people. So yeah, get back to being conversationally fluent in French. Continue to figure out how I can be the best version of myself for my friends, family, and future partner. It's a daily thing that I'm doing. It's a daily task. So I'm going to continue to do that daily, and I'm just going to continue to figure out what what I need to do to be the best version of myself for me too. I forgot me. I want to be the best version of myself for me, my friends, my family, and my future partner and my future munchkins one day. I definitely want to develop better financial habits, and I want to do a whole episode on this. It's not going to be the next episode, but I do want to do a whole episode on just finances and just my bad habits and how I've gotten myself into shitty situations and how I would like to be better, because I think it's super important and it's super uncomfortable. And I don't think a lot of people like to talk about it. And I just hope that if I'm vulnerable about it and I can be honest about my fuck ups, it can show you that like if you have been in any of these situations, you can relate to them. And I've got some fucking stories. I've got some stories about it, and I would love to just share them. And it's not fucking pretty. They're not great stories, and it's kind of irresponsible, but I just want to show you like I'm a human and I made mistakes, and I just really want to put a lot of effort into like growing my like future wealth and like getting my money to work for me, so I'm never having to worry about finances, because I stress about finances more than anything in my life. Nothing has ever kept me up at night besides money. And that sounds crazy because I'm a super emotional person, but money is the only thing that's ever kept me up at night. And I want to host more events. So that's something that I love doing. I love hosting events. Like, I know I did like a little thing last night for my birthday, but like just stuff like that, bringing people together is something that I genuinely love. As I do this career exploration, I would love to like explore like working in events and just curating them, because I genuinely love doing that. From hosting birthdays to doing pop-ups, like clothing swaps, workout pop-ups. I love that. That fuels me, and I just, really love that. So I'm going to, explore that more and hopefully do more pop-ups and events. I'd love to do a girl talk event eventually. So we'll see. Just got to get the girls together and just, do like a live podcast session. Pretty cool stuff. So just look out for that. But that's something I really want to do. And the biggest thing that I want to do in 26 is I ultimately want to develop more confidence in all aspects of my life. I want to be more confident in decision making, who I give my energy to, my passion projects, and really developing a belief system. And I want to be fully confident in that belief system. Setting boundaries has taught me a lot about my beliefs and who I am, because there was a time where it's just like, I don't even know like what political party that I'm like supporting. And I was like, I don't even know like my opinion on these social like things, and I don't know what I don't know. And so, spending time with yourself, I've gotten to learn a lot about, what I believe, and like not being influenced by other people, and just kind of doing the things that I need to do to figure out like what it is that really like drives me and what I want to stand for. Because if you don't stand for anything, like you believe in nothing. Like if you don't believe in anything, you don't stand for anything. So that's something that I really want to, spend some time with, spend more time, because I have been doing that, and I have, figuring it out day by day. But that's kind of the forecast for the upcoming year. There's like specific goals that are private and I don't really want to share, and, like move in silence. And I just have those in the back of my mind and like setting plans in place to like reach those. But, I just wanted to give you a broad kind of glimpse into what I would love this next year to look like. And I can't wait to come on here in like January 1st and be able to do my reflections of 2024 and projections of 2025, and kind of revisit this episode and see kind of, what box I've checked in the next 6 months. So that's where I'm at right now. 25 was an amazing fucking year, and I would say it was the best year of my life. Even though it was one of the hardest years of my life, it was definitely the best year of my life, and I can't wait to have more best years, because I think that's relative. And I think that every year could be your best as long as you stay growing and, just push yourself out of your comfort zone and be open to opportunities and people. And that's the vibe I'm on right now. And I just can't wait to keep fucking trucking and just keep doing amazing things, because life is fucking beautiful. I have so much gratitude for the people that are in it, the experiences that I get to experience every day, the good ones, the bad ones, are all fucking lessons. So I'm just going to keep gratitude in my heart and just keep moving. And I can't wait to see what 26, and I can't wait for y'all to come with me. We all in this together. So that's all I have today. Next week is going to be another solo episode, and then we'll have a guest episode from the one I'm doing in New York the week after. So you're going to get me solo, back to back. And then I do have a good guest lineup. Summer is just so fucking busy. Like you have like this, you go to school and then you have summer break, and like when you are an adult, like you don't typically have that, but you would be fucking surprised from like May to September. Like people are busy, they're traveling, and it just feels like we all still have like that summer break mentality. But so the fall will be better, more consistent with guests. But I hope that you two come or I hope that you do enjoy coming back and spending time with just me and listen to me yap about all the things. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Happy birthday to me, and I can't wait to see what this next year has in store. I'll see you next Tuesday. Mwah. Bye.